He said this is not, in fact, a loss of an aircraft carrier by the United States. That statement, made amid swirling claims on social media and foreign state broadcasts, reflects the reality that the United States Navy has not lost any of its capital warships to enemy action. One of America's newest and most powerful vessels, the USS Gerald Ford, did not sink, was not destroyed in combat, and was not knocked out of the fight by enemy missiles. Instead, U.S. defense officials and independent reporting confirmed that the Gerald Ford suffered a significant fire aboard the ship on March 12, 2026, which originated in a laundry area during routine operations. While the resulting smoke and water damage disrupted onboard systems, injured some crew members, and required damage control efforts, there is no verified indication that this event resulted from external attack or combat action. The carrier continued to operate for a time after the incident, but the Navy ultimately directed it to pull back from the active combat theater in the Middle East to undergo extended repairs and maintenance at Souda Bay Naval Base in Crete, Greece. Officials assert the move was precautionary and aimed at restoring full operational capacity after the onboard fire and routine wear. The United States Navy maintains an active fleet of 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, but only a small number are forward deployed at any given time. The Ford-class giant had been engaged in support of operations in the Middle East, what the Pentagon described as part of a Gulf region campaign, but it was not struck by enemy ordnance. Its withdrawal for repairs has temporarily reduced the carrier presence in the area. Meanwhile, the USS Abraham Lincoln, another Nimitz-class supercarrier, has been at the center of Iranian state media claims that Tehran's military forces fired missiles targeting the ship. Iranian official statements say cruise missiles were launched and that the Lincoln was forced to alter its position following the launches. However, there is currently no independent verification that the USS Abraham Lincoln was hit or damaged by Iranian fire, nor have U.S. military officials publicly confirmed any damage. In previous episodes, such claims, including alleged missile strikes, have been denied by U.S. Central Command, which characterized earlier assertions as false. Pentagon and U.S. military spokespeople have stressed that carriers remain intact, operational, and fully commissioned unless an official statement indicates otherwise. Regarding the Gerald Ford, U.S. Navy sources emphasize that the fire was an onboard accident unrelated to enemy combat action and that the ship would return to service after maintenance. There has been no U.S. acknowledgement that Iranian forces have successfully struck any American aircraft carrier with missile fire. Statements from Iranian military officials have sometimes been disseminated through state broadcasters, but without corroboration from open-source tracking, U.S. naval communicus, or independent defense analysts. These naval developments come amid broader regional conflict and diplomatic maneuvering. The U.S. government has reportedly proposed a multi-point plan aimed at reducing hostilities, including calls for ceasefire terms, potential nuclear curbs, and negotiated conditions for de-escalation. Iran's leadership has in many public statements pushed back on such proposals and often presented its own set of demands, which include sanctions relief and assurances about sovereignty over strategic waterways like the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian military rhetoric has framed missile launches and surveillance as expressions of resistance to what they depict as U.S. and allied pressure. Analysts caution that such statements, while indicative of Iran's intent to signal strength, do not always align with independently verified battlefield effects. This underscores the difficulty of parsing wartime messaging from observable military outcomes. The temporary redeployment of one aircraft carrier for repairs arguably shifts the burden onto remaining forces. Defense observers note that the Abraham Lincoln now plays a more central role in projecting U.S. air power at sea in the region. Such carriers serve not only as symbols of naval dominance, but as platforms for strike aircraft, early warning systems, and sea control operations supporting broader coalition actions. Even as the U.S. maintains that its naval strength remains formidable, the logistical challenge of sustaining extended deployments, especially in a hotly contested theater, highlights vulnerabilities and the importance of maintenance cycles. These pressures exist independently of combat losses and do not equate to a loss of a carrier in the sense of destruction or incapacitation. He said the USS Gerald Ford did not sink or get destroyed in combat. This is consistent with the Navy's description of the fire as an onboard accident. There is no evidence tying it to enemy action. He said it suffered a major fire, but no confirmed hostile action or crippled combat systems. Officials have repeatedly stressed that the fire did not arise from Iranian strikes or battlefield engagement. He said it has since sailed to Soda Bay, Crete, Greece for maintenance and repair. Reporting confirms the Ford is in port for repairs and remains a commissioned U.S. warship. He said the fire was not reported by the Pentagon as resulting from an Iranian attack. That corresponds with official statements. There has been no Pentagon confirmation linking the fire to combat operations. He said regarding the USS Abraham Lincoln, there is no independent confirmation the carrier was not hit and continued routine operations. This reflects the current situation. Iran's claims have not been validated by U.S. military sources or independent analysts. In conflicts involving major powers, state media statements often serve dual purposes, communicating capabilities and shaping perceptions. Iranian and U.S. military messaging both play to domestic and allied audiences. That makes independent verification, including satellite tracking, on-the-record military communicas, and credible international reporting vital to discerning what actually happens on the ground or sea. At this time, all reliable evidence indicates that no U.S. carrier has been sunk, crippled, or conclusively struck in such a way as to take it permanently out of action. The Gerald R. Ford remains a commissioned asset, and the Abraham Lincoln has not been independently confirmed as having been hit despite Iranian assertions. The ongoing tensions between Iran and U.S. Israeli forces have significant geopolitical and economic ripple effects, from oil market volatility to shipping lane security concerns. Carriers represent more than individual warships. They embody strategic capability, deterrence, and diplomatic leverage. Mischaracterizing incidents at sea can mislead publics and complicate policy making at critical junctures. In this context, accurate reporting and cautious interpretation are essential. The facts show that critical claims of U.S. naval losses remain unsubstantiated, and the vessels in question continue to operate or are undergoing maintenance consistent with their service life and mission requirements.